So here's a story time about why I had to pick Aiden up from school early the other day. I get a call from the sub. I knew there was a sub in his class because he had told me the day before that he had a substitute and he was sad that his teacher wasn't there and that the substitute yelled at him. All right. So she calls and she goes, "Miss Davis, I'm calling because your son is being disruptive and he is being disobedient. He is talking back and he's being combative, and I just don't understand why. We didn't have this problem yesterday, but we're having this problem today. So I don't know what's going on." Listen. Right there, I was already turned off because, first of all, this is our first contact. I don't know you, lady, and you're going to come at me with all this stuff about my child, which I know for a fact is not true. So I go, let me stop you right there. I'm not sure if you were made aware, but my son has ADHD. So it is a little bit more challenging for him to focus because she said he was fidgety. It is a little bit more challenging for him to focus than other children. And she says, "Oh no, that's not the issue. I understand that. He told me that part and I have ADD, so I understand." And I said, "Well, ma'am, ADD and ADHD are not the same thing. So there are some things that you may not understand about his learning process." So then she goes, "Well, Miss Davis, I've been doing this for 16 years, so I know a lot more than you think I do." I said, "Well, Miss So-and-so," because I don't remember her name, "you were actually talking to Dr. Sarah Shaveda Davis. And so I have my doctor in educational psychology, so I do understand a little bit about how students learn." Y'all, this lady had me all the way messed up because anybody coming at me sideways like that about my child, off the top, I'm coming at you sideways because I know my child, and none of those things that she described are him. He has never in his life been described by a teacher, a friend, a family member, anybody in that way. So I was just like, this lady got it all wrong. My child, and I am not here for some white woman having one interaction with my child and changing his entire identity and perspective on himself. I would never. I told my son, "You are none of those things that she said about you. You have never been described that way," and I do not believe her. This part out, the major issue that she was having was that he was having a tantrum. So essentially what she did was she weaponized me and used me as a weapon against him to say, "I'm going to call your mom and she's going to be really mad at you," and blah, 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 blah. So he's crying. The kids are making fun of him for being a crybaby. So he's crying more. And then she's like, "Well, I don't understand why he's acting this way." Like, I told my son, "Aiden, don't you ever let someone tell you that they're going to call me and you have that kind of reaction to it, because I am always going to be on your side. I'm always going to trust you first. I'm always going to believe you first. I'm your mother and I know you. And you should have automatically known that when they called me, I was going to get to the bottom of it." Anyway, today I asked Aiden, "How was school?" He's like, "It was great. My teacher is back. She's back." So I'm like, "Okay, what made it so great?" And he's like, "Well, we got our recess back, we got our snack back, and we got back our talking lunch." So this lady that was subbing in his class apparently made them have silent lunch, skipped their snack because they weren't good enough to have a snack that day, and also took away their recess because they didn't get ready in time for recess or whatever that means. So y'all, I'm just like, I'm so glad I went to pick up my child early when she called me, because I said, this woman apparently has an issue with my child and I don't want him in her presence. Okay. And on top of that, to learn that these things were taken away from him. Yes, you got the reaction you got because you were changing up the game on my baby and he wasn't ready and prepared for that. And as a neurodivergent person, raising another little neurodivergent person, I totally get that. I understand. We need stability. Oh, so let me back up a little bit. I did say something to her about yelling at him. She denied it. She said she simply raised her voice at him. Because I was like, yelling your voice does not work for my child. He will shut completely down. So you cannot be yelling at him. And the reason she made the comment about doing it for 16 years was because I said if it was too challenging for her to have a child with ADHD in her classroom, then she should contact the front office and ask them if there's another classroom that he can go into for the day. But yeah, so I went to pick up my child, and my grandmother told me a long time ago, when I was crying about his father not wanting to keep him and help me with him, she said, baby, don't ever send your child somewhere where they are not wanted. He was not wanted in that classroom that day, so I was perfectly fine with him being at home with me for the remainder of the day. Single parents, let this be a lesson to you. Be your child's best advocate. Show your child that you are there for them no matter what, because they need us. I am not saying that you need to be a superhero and pick your child up from every situation where they feel any kind of discomfort. But what I am saying is that we know our children. And when people speak ill of them and we know that it's untrue, we have to save our children from those people, because those people will mean our children no good. Family, teachers, whoever, protect your children. You, single mother, are the only one that they have.